Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunda Vihari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivardhari
Gopi Jala Balapya Jaya Girivardhari
Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana
Yamunatiravanachari
Yamuna Tiravanachari
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama
Rama
Rama
Hare
Hare
Hare Om
Hare
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om 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 Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashta Prayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Continuing the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 8, Text 42, 1842. Kunti prays, Tvai me nanya vishaya matir matupate sakrut ratim udvahatad atta kongevaukam udambati. O Lord of Matu, as the Ganges forever flows to the sea without hindrance, let my attraction be constantly drawn into you without being diverted to anyone else. Purport. Perfection of pure devotional service is attained when all attention is diverted towards the transcendental loving service of the Lord. To cut off the tie of all other affections does not mean complete negation of the finer elements like affection for someone else. This is not possible. A living being, whoever he may be, must have this feeling of affection for others because this is a symptom of life. The symptoms of life, such as desire, anger, hankerings, feelings of attraction, etc., cannot be annihilated. Only the objective has to be changed. Desire cannot be negated, but in devotional service, the desire is changed only for the service of the Lord in place of desire for sense gratification. The so-called affection for family, society, country, etc., consists of different phases of sense gratification. When this desire is changed for the satisfaction of the Lord, it is called devotional service. In the Bhagavad Gita, we can see that Arjuna desired not to fight with his brothers and relations, just to satisfy his own personal desires. But when he heard the message of the Lord, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, he changed his decision and served the Lord. And for his doing so, he became a famous devotee of the Lord, for it is declared in all the scriptures that Arjuna attained spiritual perfection by devotional service to the Lord in friendship. The fighting was there, the friendship was there, Arjuna was there, and Krishna was there, but Arjuna became a different person by devotional service. Therefore, the prayers of Kunti also indicate the same categorical changes in activities. Srimati Kunti wanted to serve the Lord without diversion, and that was her prayer. This unalloyed devotion is the ultimate goal of life. Our attention is usually diverted to the service of something which is non-godly or not in the program of the Lord. When the program is changed into the service of the Lord, that is to say, when the senses are purified in relation with the service of the Lord, it is called pure unalloyed devotional service. Srimati Kunti Devi wanted that perfection and prayed for it from the Lord. Her affection for the Pandavas and the Vrishnis is not out of the range of devotional service because the service of the Lord and the service of the devotees are identical. Sometimes service to the devotees is more valuable than service to the Lord. But here, the affection of Kunti Devi for the Pandavas and the Vrishnis was due to family relation. This tie of affection in terms of material relation is the relation of Maya, because the relations of the body or the mind are due to the influence of the external energy. Relations of the soul, established in relation with the Supreme Soul, are factual relations. When Kunti Devi wanted to cut off the family relation, she meant to cut off the relation of the skin. The skin relation is the cause of material bondage, but the relation of the soul is the cause of freedom. This relation of the soul to the soul can be established by the medium of the relation with the supersoul. Seeing in the darkness is not seeing, but seeing by the light of the sun means to see the sun and everything else which was unseen in the darkness. That is the way of devotional service. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Shrimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vanchakalpatarupyascha Kripasinthupya Eva Cha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Kunti Devi is clarifying a bit the previous verse where she asked for Krishna to sever my tie of affection for my kinsman. And we're getting clarification at that point. And this is one quick point I'll make is that sometimes we hear things either in the Bhagavatam or Prabhupada said this in one place or another, this purport, or there's a verse that says something, and we don't know how to reconcile it with what we already have heard from Shastra or what we know or think we know from our own intelligence and our experience in life. And one of the lessons is just keep reading because right away, immediately, she clarifies what she means by that, and Prabhupada clarifies it even further. So a beautiful point that Prabhupada makes really early on is to cut off the tie of all other affections does not mean complete negation of the finer elements like affection for someone else. This is not possible. A living being, whoever they may be, must have this feeling of affection for others because this is a symptom of life. Sometimes people think about devotional service in terms of black and white, of like, well, life as I know it means to have feelings, and so devotional service must mean to have no feelings for others. And there's this artificial way in which like I care about Krishna, but I don't care about others. And that's not at all what Prabhupada's talking about or Kunti is asking for. And indeed, he says it's not even possible. That's a theoretical idea, right? If you're actually situated in complete indifference, you'll be indifferent to Krishna too. You'll just be an impersonalist, situated in neutrality, right? But that's not devotional service. It's not what we're aspiring for. So that's the first point, is that don't be afraid, because this isn't about negating what he says, negating the finer elements. This is not possible because these are symptoms of life. As long as one is alive, one is going to have feelings for others. And the point is to take the engine of whatever attraction and aversions and different things that you have and yoke that up, connect that up, yoga that up to Krishna, Krishnafy your attraction. Like, lately I've been playing chess because it's good for my brain and I like it. And is it Krishna conscious? I mean, not really, but at the same time, I'm trying to keep my mind fit for Krishna's service. And I also remember that Krishna and Balaram play chess. And there's a beautiful pastime in the Bhagavatam about that, a couple actually. And, Krishna says in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Jayosmi Vivasayosmi, I am victory. So like the characteristic of one person or the other, whether it's me or not, winning, that's Krishna. And he's also Buddhir Buddhimatam, I'm the intelligence of all intelligence. So we're trying to apply that in whatever game we're playing. And it's like, these are the things we have to do. We're not asked to just cut them off artificially necessarily. Although it's good to regulate them. If we're playing chess all day, or if we're scrolling all day, or if we're doing something, as Prabhupada puts it, uh, something ungodly. Where does he use that word?
In this verse.
Our attention is usually diverted to the service of something which is non-godly or not in the program of the Lord. So we generally have to regulate that which is not in the program of the Lord, but we don't necessarily have to throw it away entirely. What we do have to do is come to the point of connecting it, get into the point where we can actually connect it. Desires cannot be negated, but in devotional service, the desire is changed only for the service of the Lord. So how does this change happen? Is the question. How do we actually go from having, by default, some collection of desires to desires for the Lord? Well, the answer is in part understood by understanding that our desires as they are right now are not fundamentally who we are. Because we live an existence where we are, because of the influence of material nature and our own limited consciousness, we're kind of stuck in a given moment. We think this is who I am forever, right? I know we can all relate to that because when you're in high school, we always think like, this is it. This is so important. All the things here are so important. And you graduate like, whoa, what was all that? There's a whole other world that opens up. And actually, it's always like that. When you're a kid, you play with these games, and when you're older, you play with those games, and you start running around trying to find a partner, and you're intoxicated with that. Then you find a job, and it's like all these things capture our attention. But they're all relative to some hormonal or financial or societal impetus. And this is what we're composed of generally. We're composed of material desires, which are the sum total of our previous material desires and our karma, right? Which comes from acting on those desires. And so the first point is to recognize whatever karma we have now, that's not even really us. And that's already changed and it's going to keep changing. So by default, it is possible to change what you're attracted to because it already is happening, right? The fact that you even have karma is proof because there's nothing intrinsic about any person that makes them like the things they like or dislike the things that they dislike. It's all just their karma, right? The karma of the body and mind they're born with, the karma of their environment, and the previous activities that they're carrying. That's it. So it can change. So that's the first point. So how do you actually change it? Prabhupada points it out here. He says, I want to find the exact. Yeah. When the program, so he says, we're generally attracted to that which is not in the program of the Lord, right? When the program is changed into the service of the Lord, that is to say, when the senses are purified in relation with the service of the Lord, this is called pure unalloyed devotional service. So to get to pure unalloyed means unmixed, right? An alloy is a mixture of two or more metals. Pure means unmixed devotional service. No devotional service for some karmic benefit. No devotional service for some sense of impersonal liberation. Just devotion for devotion's sake. To get to that requires purifying our senses, right? And in this usage of the word senses, that includes the mind. The mind, intelligence, all the different senses of the body that gather knowledge, and all the abilities of the body to express themselves, walking and so forth, activities of the hands, and etc. All of these things can be purified by relating them to Krishna. So we have a tongue, we have a belly, and we're eating so many things. But what happens if you try to just, with your intelligence, collect things that are offerable to Krishna, the mode of goodness, and eat them? What happens is that your tongue gets purified and your belly gets purified. And that's not just an abstract metaphorical thing. It actually happens in terms of the modes of nature. First of all, before you transcend the modes of nature, we come out of ignorance to passion, out of passion to goodness. What does that mean? Well, it means that if you start eating things that are offered to Krishna, you start engaging that sense in Krishna's service, you will develop a taste for higher things, a literal taste, like physical sense of wanting to eat only higher things. You'll lose your taste for lower things. your belly will become purified. It will become adept and interested in digesting higher things, lower and not lower things. You'll have less indigestion from going for overly dry, spicy, mode of passion things. You'll develop a taste for higher things, and they get purified. And this can happen to the mind as well, right? In fact, it starts with the tongue. Atashi Krishna namari na bhavet grahim indriya sevam mukhi hijivado svayam ivas puratira. Forget which Purana says this, but look it up. Atashi Krishna namari. It says that the Lord is not manifest to the blunt material senses, but that by service to him. This is from, it's quoted in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 17, verse 136. It's originally from the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami, 1-2-234. By using your tongue, the verse says, through chanting and through tasting prasadam, the tongue gets purified, and that opens the door to Krishna revealing himself. So it's really the gateway sense is the tongue. If you want to make a lot of progress, purify your tongue. And people are somewhat interested in that, but they're especially interested in the idea of purifying their mind. Everyone wants to purify their mind. Maybe not right away. Maybe someone is in the phase of life where they're like, oh, I love all this stuff in my brain. This is great. But eventually we're like, this is really wild. Why do I have to keep being dragged around by this uncontrolled mind? Krishna says in chapter 6, Bhagavad Gita, the uncontrolled mind is the greatest enemy of the living being. And the controlled mind can be the one's greatest friend. So how do you control it? You have to use that mind. You have to control the mind doesn't mean trying to not use the mind. No, you can only control the mind by using it. How? Use it in relation to Krishna. So if your mind is thinking, feeling, and willing around material things, understand that that's normal. And then engage yourself in the program of thinking, feeling, and willing for Krishna. Because those are the functions of the mind: to think, to feel, and to create some impetus for action, to will. And all those things are to be engaged and can be engaged in service. And the thinking for Krishna purifies your thinking capacity. Feeling for Krishna purifies your feeling capacity. And willing for Krishna purifies your willing capacity. And then if you have those going on, you have a purified mind. What does that feel like? It feels like walking around with, instead of all the random intrusive thoughts, you start thinking about Krishna spontaneously. What a joy, right? Instead of the random intrusive feelings that have nothing to do for you, they don't actually serve you at all because they're in relationship to matter, you have feeling for Krishna and you want to do something for him. And so this is possible to have and possible to have completely because Krishna is the totality of everything. So you can engage all your thinking, all your feeling, all your willing in him. And to do this generally requires the short answer is it requires guidance because Prabhupada calls it the program of the Lord. Well, the program of the Lord involves certain principles that we are experiencing now, like we're hearing Bhagavatam. That's a principle. Hear spiritual literature. Chant his names. And it also requires a certain amount of guidance because principles have to be applied in time, place, and circumstance. Culturally, in someone's life journey, different times of day, according to your health, according to your capacity, according to your taste, all these things. And so similarly, we cannot just read something and then apply it as a black and white truth. Like, oh, this is the program of the Lord. I just do this and I get perfect. Well, yeah, if you chant Hare Krishna, you'll become perfect. You'll develop pure love for Krishna. Yes. Generally, people need guidance on how to do that systematically. Because like if you just tell everybody just chant God's names, that's really good. That's very good. But people need to have their hand held and have a taste of it and help someone else with a higher taste show them what it's like to have a taste because they don't have any yet. And they also need to understand what the nature of the names are, right? Because people have an intelligence, and if you don't have basic Sambandha Gyan, who are you? Who is Krishna? What does it mean to chant his names? Then you just chant in abstraction, right? It won't mean anything to you, and there's still great value in that, but you won't come out of the phase of low-level chanting. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says this in the Sri Harinam Chintamani. So we need guidance. And one way or another, we have to come to this program of Krishna and purify our senses. And this is what allows us to get to the point that Kunti is praying for. Let my mind be diverted to you, just like the river flows to the sea. The Ganges, she says. Jonathan Harrison, She sings a song about this because it's really based on this prayer. It's based on this prayer. Um,
Mm.
this is a famous expression of that analogy. Like just like the river, or simile, metaphor, just like a river flows to the sea, I want my heart to flow to you, right? You can dam up a river. Does that stop it? No, it doesn't. You can slow it down. You can't stop it. It's naturally just spontaneous. And so it's a prayer for spontaneous devotional service. Spontaneous means no one has to tell you, including your own higher thinking, I really should get up and chant Hare Krishna. I really should go and see Jagannath this morning. You know, you don't have to be told to do that, even by your own higher self. You just already want to do that. And is this possible? Well, here's a counter question to somebody who asks, is that even possible? Is it possible that you may spontaneously be attracted to a bag of chips or ice cream or your husband or wife or your children or a television show or a place or a time? Yeah, of course. Prabhupada starts the Purport by saying you can't get rid of these things because it's a symptom of life. There must be desire. Everyone already has experiences of this. We're little units of attention. We have to give our attention to something. So theoretically, could it not be possible to be attracted to the all attractive? Yes, it could. It definitely could. And with the proper program, it becomes the most natural thing ever. Because all those other attractions are unnatural in the sense that they have to be learned to a degree. To a degree. I mean, if you're in a body, it's pretty natural to be attracted to food when you're hungry. There's not much learning that has to be required around that. Um, but you have to have a certain material body for that. And honestly, some people don't have a proper appetite. They're not hungry when they should be hungry. So even that's not necessarily perfect system. Um, but we're always actually in relationship to Krishna. We may not always have a sweet tooth. We may not always be attracted to our high school crush. Generally, we're not. We may not always be, obsessed with this piece of media or that. They come and they go, but Krishna doesn't come and go. Krishna doesn't even come. He's always there. He stays. He's always there. Always has been, always will be. So our program philosophically works, and the practicality has to be applied with guidance to come to the lived experience, daily experience of, oh, actually for a second there in the japa, I felt my mind like naturally attracted to Krishna. Or maybe after the japa, like I just felt uplifted, right? And it's these experiences of being lifted beyond the modes of nature where you're like, there's no logical reason for why I feel the way I feel. I don't know. There's no reason why waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go to see Krishna at a temple would make me feel this good. In fact, before I showed up at 4:29, before the doors opened, I just felt like tired. But as soon as I could see his beautiful face, there's no reason why I feel this good, right? These kinds of experiences, they develop our faith. They develop our sense that something's happening because it is. It actually is happening. It's the it's the awakening of attraction for Krishna. And if you like kirtan, you're already experiencing this. If you like devotees, you're already experiencing this. Good news, you already got it. There's no cure. We just want to accelerate this because you can go a long time, kind of like on the fringes, on the outskirts of like, yeah, Krishna's cool, I like him, but you're still giving yourself to your material desires. And so we're trying to deliberately, intentionally um, practice applying our material senses in mind in Krishna service and Krishnifying them and just like purifying those things by using them, right? And how to do that because there's so many senses and so many different life situations. I can't answer on the spot, but if anyone has any questions around this, please put it in the chat. I should have been mentioning this earlier for those who are on the WhatsApp chat. You can ask questions in the WhatsApp chat, and I'll reply to them. They'll be separated by time, but still that's available. And I would love to hear any reflections on anything you heard about purifying the senses, Krishna's program, the analogy of the river and the sea, spontaneous attraction, regulated attraction we practice, and anything you heard that stood out. Hare Krishna. We'll take any reflections from Kishori Gopinath.
Right, well, thank you for class, Prabhu.
Thank you.
There's so much nectar here. I appreciate the distinction you made that you said if you chant Hare Krishna, you will become a perfected being, right?
Yes.
Like that will happen. It's just determine when. right? It might
Right.
take, I guess either way, we don't know when, but it would take longer, perhaps to simply only chant Hare Krishna and not also be working on purifying and refining our senses and learning to not be controlled by the mind, but to bring our attention and our awareness again and again and again, right back
Yeah.
to Krishna consciousness. So I just really appreciate in our movement, our philosophy, how there's sort of like in the Bhagavad Gita with the yoga ladder. It's like,
There's
if you can't do
levels.
this, do this. If you can't do this, do this, right? It's like the simplicity of it is, if you do simply chant Hare Krishna, like, you will go home to Godhead. You will become a perfected being at some point. And if you are interested and willing to also up level from there, um, that's also available. And doing that will affect your well-being, your state of mind,
Yeah.
your relationships. All of these things will benefit you in living this human experience in this life. And the bigger umbrella it is deepening your relationship to Krishna.
Right. And that's work that has to happen eventually anyway. Right?
Mhm.
So there's no point procrastinating it later in this life or in another life. Like at some point, we have to get over our attraction to material things by becoming attracted to Krishna. That's the only way to get over them.
Mm.
They can't be let go of.
Right,
Prabhupada starts a purport. Don't even think about it. Not possible.
right.
Right? So we have to become attracted to him. What does that mean? Well, we have to practice trying to be attracted to him. I'm okay. And it's helpful to ask for it
Mhm.
because that's what Kunti is doing. And this
Right.
is modeling behavior. She's showing us like, oh, wait, I'm allowed to ask Krishna to be attracted to him? Oh, yeah. That's a great prayer to have.
Mhm.
A lot of great devotees ask for that. Even ones who are already attracted to him. They're praying to never forget him, to be attracted more. Because it's not on off, black, white. Yes, no. It's like you can get more attracted. You can become more in love with him,
Mhm.
right? So ask for it. And where attention goes, energy flows. When you ask for something, especially from Krishna, not just like ephemerally, from the universe, then you get his help and you'll find your own resources will be focused on how to actually make that happen. It'll become apparent to you through your purified intelligence. Krishna will manifest through your intelligence. Okay, do this. Like wake up in the morning and don't get on your phone. Try that and try chanting instead.
Mhm.
That'll start to seem like a good idea. That happens more when you ask for that than if you don't ask for it. That's the magic. It's like you're asking Krishna, I want to be attracted to you. He's like, okay, cool. Here's the thing you can work on right now that you're ready for. I know you're ready for it. How does he know? He's the best teacher. He already knows that.
Mhm.
Great teachers are like so many steps ahead of their students, right?
Mhm.
Like good parents are like, yeah, yeah, you can walk. I know you got this. You can fly, little birdie. Mother bird's like, yeah, you got this. They'll push him out of the nest because, no point holding back. You're ready, whether you know it or not. So Krishna's like, yeah, you can work on this. Start working on this.
Mhm.
And we can think, oh, I can't do it. It's too much. It's like, yeah, but try. Just try. Just try starting.
Mhm.
You have permission. You have full permission to try and fail. Just try and make partial success. But even doing that starts to make progress, and we realize, oh wow, yeah, like that's a great idea, and I am increasing in my Krishna consciousness, my God consciousness. So that's it's work we have to do.
Mhm.
So why procrastinate? We have all the association we need right now in this life. We have all the books, all the help. Just start now. Just do it now. It's fun and easy, and
Mhm.
it's a lot more fun and easy than the alternative. There's a nice expression. If you think education's expensive, consider the price of ignorance,
Mhm.
right? Like the only thing more expensive than or difficult than Krishna consciousness is not being Krishna conscious,
Mhm.
right? People are just getting brutalized by their minds,
Mhm.
just absolutely viciously beaten by their own minds,
Mhm.
suffering because, you know, they don't try or they don't know how to try
Right.
to purify their mind in relation to Krishna, to hear about him, to become attracted to him, to come to a point of spontaneously thinking about him, his form, his activities. How sad. Yeah.
Yeah, and that even and you said about how Krishna says he's also victory.
Yeah.
And so even when we're successful, quote unquote, in a chess match,
Yeah.
or
Don't take it personally.
or you get a promotion,
Right.
or you get a compliment, whatever it
Thanks,
is, it's
Krishna.
like, oh, Krishna, it's coming from Krishna. Right?
Yeah.
That's also a really beautiful, like, tangible way to bring your mind to Krishna, even when we're in mundane material situations.
Totally. And you can get creative, you know, like I remember when I was coming up in Krishna consciousness, I was still playing like role-playing games, like video games.
Mm.
And in these role-playing games, you like have a character and maybe some other characters come and you name them. And I would start naming them like Arjuna and Bhishma and Narada and stuff because I was just like, okay, I'm gonna play this game. I want to play this game. I'm not gonna not do it. But at least I can surround myself with Krishna's names and his devotees. And I can role play like, okay, these adventurers are actually like, you know, the Pandavas fighting, you know, the forces of, I don't know, Dhritarashtra or whatever. And it's like,
Mm.
if you're gonna be a geek and a nerd like that, just do it for Krishna. It's like get creative. Just get creative. It's totally bona fide. I did it. It worked. It helped. So
Like when we play pickleball, we name our teams devotional devotees.
Team Gauranga.
Team.
And then when you win a point, Gauranga.
Yeah.
Who's gonna yell something? May as well yell Gauranga.
Right.
So it's like it's a very well-rounded life. You don't have to be afraid of bhakti life. It's actually incredibly holistic.
Mhm.
And it's start wherever you are kind of thing. So Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai,
Jai.
Srila Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Now let's offer our respectful obeisances to all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who are just like desire trees can fulfill the desires of everyone and are full of compassion for all the fallen conditioned souls. Jai. Vancha kalpatarupyascha, kripasindhubhye vacha patitanam, pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Nathakoti Vaishnavindi ki jai.
Jai.
Please share your reflections in chat and any questions you have or comments. Haribol.